So the first video on probability is going to be fairly straightforward, I think. But the first part of the first example may be a little bit tricky because it's asking for what the probability is, or whether it's reasonable to say the probability it will snow on Christmas Day in London is 0.9. Most of you may think of London as a Charles Dickens old white place in Christmas, but it's not really like that very often. I think it was about, maybe 38 times in the last 54 years. 38 times in the last 54 years. Oops. That's not 5, that's a 5. 54 years. It has snowed once somewhere in the UK. Now, to say that it's going to snow in London, for it to be 90% or 0.9, I think that's far too high for the actual probability. In fact, there are ways to earn money in England by betting money to say that it's going to be a white Christmas, but lots of people lose money on that because it's very unlikely. So I think that this is not reasonable, this first one here. What about the second one? The probability that you'll win a raffle prize is 0.5. Well, that really depends on how many tickets that there are. If there were, in your raffle you've got a hat and there are lots of tickets in there, let's say 100 tickets, and your name is on one of them, then the probability that your name will be picked is going to be 1 in 100, isn't it? And this is not 0.5. In order for this to happen, you would have had to have had 50 tickets on here with your name on it. Or, if you had one ticket on there, there would only have to be 2 tickets inside for you to have the probability of winning it. So it doesn't really give many details about the raffle, but it's normally not just 2 tickets, and you normally don't have your name on half of them. So we're going to say that this is not reasonable. What about the third one? The probability that you will go to bed before midnight tonight is 0.99. Again, it really does depend on your own habits. But of course, let's say that you're supposed to go to bed before midnight. Let's say that you normally go to bed at 9:30 in the evening. If that is the case, the probability you'll go to bed before midnight is 0.99. I would say that's probably correct. But your own interpretation of this might be a little bit different. The final one, then, the probability that your pocket money is double tomorrow is 0.01. Now, what about if you don't get any pocket money? If you don't get pocket money, it could never be doubled, so this would not be reasonable. The probability it would be doubled if you don't get pocket money would be 0. But let's say you do get pocket money. Let's say your parents give you 10 kwai every day, for example, for pocket money. What's the probability of doubling this? So tomorrow you're going to get 20 kwai. That would be 0.01, that's the same in 1 in 100, or 1%. Well, I think it's pretty unlikely, but you never know. So that's the first part of probability. Told you it'd be easy.